A woman in a greenhouse carefully picks bright purple saffron flowers at sunrise. The delicate red threads of saffron sit in a glass jar on a wooden table, glowing like tiny strands of crimson gold. The median American farm actually loses money. According to USDA data, the median farm income in the United States is negative, literally in the red. Corn and soybean farmers battle over margins of a few $100s per acre, praying the weather cooperates and the bank stays patient. But about a mile from some of those struggling cornfields, there are growers quietly pulling in $50,000, $100,000, even $250,000 per acre. And they're doing it with plants you can hold in one hand. Some of these plants sell for more per pound than gold. Others grow in a spare bedroom and turn a profit within 2 weeks of planting seeds. One farmer named Curtis Stone in British Columbia grossed $75,000 on just 1/3 of an acre with a 78% profit margin. A woman named Lindsay Talby cleared over $100,000 net from less than 1 acre of flowers, and the number one crop on this list was recently selling for up to $10,000 a pound. These are 20 profitable plants that can genuinely build wealth, with real prices, real grower names, and the honest truth about what it takes. Starting with the fastest path from seed to cash. Number 20. Specialty herbs. If you want the fastest path from seed to cash, fresh herbs are hard to beat. A bundle of fresh basil sells for $8 to $16 per pound direct to restaurants, and chives bring $7 to $12 per pound at farmers markets across America. A small greenhouse herb operation generates $20 to $24 per square foot every single year. The North American retail herb market surpassed $10 billion in 2024, and restaurants are always buying. The best part is speed. Most culinary herbs go from seed packet to saleable harvest in 30 to 60 days, and perennial varieties like rosemary, thyme, and oregano keep producing year after year without replanting. Number 19. Succulents. A single succulent mother plant produces unlimited cuttings at basically zero cost. We're talking under 25 cents per plant that you turn around and sell for $5 to $15 retail. Rare varieties like variegated string of pearls or pink moonstone command $40 to $100 each on Etsy. Wedding favors and gift box arrangements pull 60 to 75% profit margins. A home-based succulent propagation business can generate $1,000 to $5,000 per month. The global succulent market is projected to hit $1.6 billion, driven mostly by millennials and Gen Z filling their apartments with these photogenic little plants. Startup cost is genuinely under $500. You can begin on a windowsill. Number 18. Bamboo. Some bamboo species hold the world record for the fastest growing plant on Earth at 47.6 inches in a single day. That insane growth rate translates directly into profit. Container bamboo plants sell for $30 to $500 each, depending on species and size. A quarter-acre nursery holding 2,500 containers represents $72,000 to $80,000 in gross inventory value. Once established, bamboo has near zero propagation costs because it regenerates from rhizomes. Net profit margins reach 60 to 80%. The global bamboo market is projected to exceed $88 billion by 2030, driven by demand for privacy screening, sustainable building materials, and edible shoots. Startup cost for a backyard nursery can be as low as $800. Number 17. Elderberries. Here is a number that should make every gardener pay attention. 67% of elderberry processors surveyed said they cannot find enough supply to meet demand. Fresh elderberries sell for $10 to $13 per pound, and the elderberry health product industry is worth $320 million annually, according to NPR. An acre of mature elderberry bushes can yield 3,000 to 6,000 pounds under optimal conditions. That is potentially $40,000 per acre from raw berries alone, making it a profitable venture. Turn those berries into elderberry syrup at $8 to $24 per bottle, and the margins get even better. Missouri leads United States production with about 400 acres, but the crop grows well across most of the eastern and central United States. Plants establish within 2 to 3 years with minimal fuss. Number 16. Christmas trees. This one sounds old-fashioned until you look at the numbers. The average Christmas tree retails for $80 to $100, and Americans buy 25 to 30 million real trees every single year. That is a $2 billion plus annual market. Revenue per acre ranges from $12,000 to $50,000 depending on species and whether you sell wholesale or direct at a choose and cut lot. Production cost per tree runs just $6 to $12 from seedling to harvest. Holiday Tree Farms in Oregon harvests over 1 million trees in 30 days using 7 helicopters. The catch is patience. Trees take 7 to 10 years to reach sellable size. But supply is currently tight because reduced planting during the 2008 recession is still affecting inventory over 15 years later. A mature 25-acre operation can project nearly $600,000 in annual profit. Number 15. Hemp. The hemp boom and bust is a cautionary tale worth understanding. Biomass that sold for $40 per pound in 2018 crashed to single digits. Oregon grower Matt Cyrus profited on 30 acres in 2018, expanded to 90 in 2019, and lost money. But the industry is stabilizing in a different direction. Total United States hemp production value hit $445 million in 2024, up 40% from the year before. The profitable segment now is premium smokable CBD flower at $330 per pound, and hemp fiber production surged 133% between 2022 and 2023, driven by demand for textiles and building materials. The industrial hemp market is projected to grow from $11 billion to over $30 billion by 2029. Worth watching, but go in with open eyes. Number 14. Goji berries. Dried organic goji berries retail for $20 to $30 per pound in American health food stores and on Amazon. Here is the opportunity. Virtually all commercial production comes from China. American-grown organic goji berries command significant premiums because buyers want local and transparent sourcing. The bushes yield up to 7,000 pounds fresh per acre under good conditions and survive temperatures down to -30 degrees Celsius, making them viable from zones 2 through 7. The global goji berry market sits at $1.54 billion and is growing about 5% annually. Plants start producing fruit in year 2 and reach full production by years 4 and 5. First mover advantage is real here because almost nobody in North America is growing these commercially. Number 13. Moringa. In tropical climates, moringa might be the most productive plant on this entire list. It grows 15 to 20 feet in a single year, and every part of the tree is commercially usable. Leaves, pods, seeds, oil, and bark all have established markets. Moringa powder sells for $10 to $25 per pound wholesale and $20 to $50 retail. An acre can yield 3 to 4 tons of dried leaves, translating to $30,000 to $56,000 gross at wholesale. The global moringa market reached $5.72 billion in 2024 and is projected to hit $14.71 billion by 2034. The critical limitation is climate. Moringa only thrives in USDA zones 9 through 11 and is killed by frost. If you live in Florida, southern Texas, or Hawaii, this is worth serious consideration. Number 12. Bonsai trees. The markup on bonsai trees is genuinely absurd. A bare root seedling costing 50 cents can be potted, wired, and shaped into a sellable bonsai worth $60 or more within 1 to 3 years. The market spans from $30 mass-produced starter trees all the way up to museum-quality, centuries-old specimens that have sold for $1.3 million at auction in Japan. The sweet spot for consistent sales is the $100 to $200 range where enthusiast buyers concentrate. A bonsai garden center can generate $50,000 to $150,000 per year, with additional revenue from workshops, classes, tools, and soil mixes. You do need genuine skill and horticultural knowledge for this one. But if you already love growing things, the learning curve is manageable. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover money-making plant strategies and gardening business breakdowns every week. Now let's get into the plants that are truly on another level. Number 11. Japanese maples. This is one of the highest margin plant businesses that rarely gets talked about in gardening circles. A red Japanese maple seedling costs as little as $1.50 wholesale. A grafted liner runs about $14. After 2 to 4 years of growing, that same tree sells for $65 to $350 retail. Rare cultivars command $500 to $3,000 or more per tree. There are over 330 cultivars, which fuels a strong collector market. MrMaple.com in North Carolina sells over 1,000 varieties and releases new trees twice weekly that routinely sell out. Herder Nursery, a family operation since 1993, actually closed their Christmas tree farm to focus entirely on Japanese maples because the margins were that much better. Landscapers happily pay $150 to $350 per tree for high-end residential projects. Growing zones 5 through 9. Number 10. Cut flowers. Cut flowers might be the most underestimated high-revenue crop in agriculture. Muddy acres. Flower Farm is run by a woman named Lindsay Talby who generated over $250,000 in sales on less than 1 acre with a single part-time employee. Her 2024 revenue breakdown included $120,000 in peony root sales, $105,000 in dahlia tuber sales, and nearly $25,000 in corm sales plus subscriptions and events. Her net income exceeded $100,000. That is 6 figures from less than an acre of flowers. Sierra Flower Farm earned $12,000 in its first year from just 1,600 square feet. Revenue streams include farmers markets at $500 to $800 per weekend, wedding floral services, wholesale accounts, and the secondary market selling bulbs and tubers. Profit margins run 60 to 70% gross per stem. Number 9. Lavender. One lavender farm in Washington state called Purple Haze Farms generates over $1 million annually on just 7 acres. That is not a typo. The secret is that lavender produces multiple revenue streams from the same plants. Fresh bundles sell for $5 to $15 each. Essential oil wholesales at around $3,000 per gallon. But here is where the math gets wild. Lavender essential oil retailed in small 10 milliliter bottles at $15 each yields over $50,000 per gallon in revenue. Then add culinary products, soaps, sachets, and agritourism events like U-Pick days, farm weddings, and seasonal festivals that can add $50,000 or more per year. The plants are low-maintenance perennials that produce for 8 to 10 years with minimal water and fertilizer. The global lavender oil market is growing at over 13% annually. Daybreak Lavender Farm in Ohio calculates $13,600 to $34,000 per acre just from bundled lavender sales. Number 8. Ginseng. Wild American ginseng roots sell for $500 to $1,100 per pound dried, and over 90% of U.S. ginseng exports go to Asia. The smart play is called wild simulated ginseng, where you plant seeds in natural forest settings but with minimal human intervention. After 8 to 10 years, these forest-grown roots sell for $300 to $800 per pound and yield up to 80 pounds dried per acre. Cornell Extension expert Bob Bayfuss reports that at optimal production, an acre can generate $60,000 in revenue. Startup cost is remarkably low at about $1,500 per acre for seed. While you wait for roots to mature, you can sell seeds starting in year 5 at $65 to $100 per pound. The patience required is enormous, but the per pound value is hard to match with any other crop grown in American soil. Number 7. Truffles. White Alba truffles command $1,000 to $4,000 per pound. Black Perigord truffles, which can actually be cultivated in planted orchards, sell for $300 to $1,500 per pound. And unlike wild truffle hunting, orchard production is becoming a real agricultural business. The American Truffle Company estimates $42,000 to $96,000 in annual profit at 35 to 80 pounds per acre from a mature truffle orchard. Their Napa Valley property, planted in 2017, yielded its first harvest in January 2023, including a 391-gram specimen that was served at the Michelin star restaurant La Toque. A truffle orchard requires $15,000 to $30,000 per acre to establish with inoculated oak or hazelnut seedlings, and you wait 5 to 7 years for first harvest. But a mature orchard produces for 20 to 50 years. That is decades of income from a single planting. Number 6. Wasabi. This is one of the craziest facts in the food industry. 99% of the wasabi served in North American restaurants is fake. It is just horseradish mixed with green food coloring. Even in Japan, 95% of wasabi is imitation. Real wasabi rhizomes sell for $100 to $400 per pound, and the reason is that wasabi is considered the single hardest commercial crop in the world to grow. It requires cool temperatures between 46 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, flowing clean water, constant shade, and 18 to 36 months to reach market size. Japan's own production has dropped 70% in 20 years as spring water sources dry up. David Bloom of Whiskey Hill Farms in Watsonville, California, gets $150 per pound for his fresh wasabi. A company called Kai Foods in Massachusetts is converting a cannabis facility into a 20,000 square foot indoor wasabi operation targeting $160 per pound. The entire plant is sellable. Rhizomes, leaves, and stems all have commercial value. Number 5. Gourmet mushrooms. Indoor mushroom farming might be the single best risk-to-reward ratio on this list. Oyster mushrooms wholesale at $5 to $8 per pound and retail at $12 to $16 per pound. Lion's mane commands $8 to $36 per pound. Shiitake runs $10 to $24 per pound. And wild foraged morels still fetch $30 to $90 per pound at farmers markets and restaurants. A 1,000 square foot facility growing oyster mushrooms can generate $72,000 to $200,000 in gross revenue annually. One entrepreneur started growing mushrooms in a 3-car garage during the pandemic with just $5,000 and grew to nearly $250,000 in annual revenue within a couple of years. Fungi Ally documented a model producing 150 pounds per week in just 200 square feet, generating $1,650 per week with a profit margin of nearly $5 per pound after materials and labor. Oyster mushrooms are the easiest variety to start with. They're ready in 5 to 8 weeks, grow happily on straw or coffee grounds, and tolerate beginner mistakes better than any other variety. The global mushroom sector is projected to reach $115.8 billion by 2030, and functional mushrooms like lion's mane and reishi are driving double-digit growth in the supplement market. Number 4. Microgreens. If someone asked me what plant makes the most money per square foot per month, the answer is microgreens, and it is not close. They sell for $20 to $50 per pound and grow from seed to harvest in just 7 to 14 days. Revenue per square foot reaches $30 to $60 per month using vertical racks. Michael Brayman of Brickhouse Growers in Utah started on a single shelf in his living room selling to restaurants, and within a year, he was earning $3,000 per week selling to 20 local restaurants. Michael Regina in Ontario pulls in $1,200 per week from just 240 square feet of growing space. Microgreens consultant Chris Thoreau says $125,000 to $150,000 per year is realistic for a 2-person operation. The U.S. microgreens market hit $1.74 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach $2.86 billion by 2029. BrightFresh launched in 43 Costco locations in November 2024, which signals mainstream retail adoption. You can start this business for under $500. Number 3. Sandalwood. This one is not for the impatient, but the numbers are staggering. Indian sandalwood heartwood sells for $140 to $215 per kilogram. Premium sandalwood essential oil commands $3,800 to $4,200 per kilogram in 2025, up over 9% from the previous year. Global demand exceeds 40,000 metric tons annually, while supply sits under 100 metric tons. That is a 400 to 1 demand to supply ratio. A mature sandalwood tree yields 12 to 20 kilograms of heartwood worth thousands of dollars. LVMH, the luxury conglomerate behind Louis Vuitton, signed a long-term supply partnership with a sandalwood grower in March 2024, signaling that elite demand is only increasing. The catch is a 15 to 20-year wait for harvest. Sandalwood is also semi-parasitic, only grows in tropical climates, and faces theft risks so severe that plantations require fencing, guards, and security cameras. This is a generational investment. Number 2. Saffron. Saffron is the single most expensive spice on earth, retailing for $1,500 to $10,000 per pound depending on grade. Prices jumped 80% in 2024 because of severe drought in Iran, which produces over 90% of the global supply. Each pound of saffron requires hand-picking the delicate red stigmas from 75,000 crocus flowers, which bloom for just a few days each fall and must be harvested at dawn before they wilt. There is no way to mechanize this process. An acre yields 1 to 4 pounds of dried saffron annually. At direct-to-consumer pricing of $10 to $20 per gram, a well-managed acre can gross $25,000 to $100,000 per year. The Rodale Institute has demonstrated viable production on quarter-acre plots. Saffron corms multiply 5 to 10 times by year 4, so your initial investment literally grows itself. Startup cost runs $15,000 to $30,000 per acre for corms, with first flowers in year 1 and peak production in years 3 through 5. Growing zones 6 through 9. Profit margin over a 5-year cycle is approximately 80%. And number 1, the plant you should absolutely avoid right now is vanilla. I know you expected the number 1 spot to be the biggest moneymaker, but the most valuable thing in this video might be saving you from a terrible decision. Vanilla peaked at roughly $500 per pound in 2018 during severe Madagascar droughts. Everyone rushed to plant vanilla orchids, and then the price collapsed. Vanilla now trades at $69 to $109 per pound retail, and green vanilla in Madagascar has dropped to $1.5 per kilogram. Madagascar exported 4,300 metric tons in just the first half of 2024, flooding the market with oversupply. On top of the crashing prices, vanilla requires tropical conditions in Zone 11 or warmer, hand pollination of flowers that bloom for a single day, a 3 to 5 year wait for the first beans, and a 9-month curing process after harvest. The global market is still worth $3.6 billion, but current oversupply could persist for years. This is the wrong time to get into vanilla. Check back in 5 years. So those are 20 plants that range from weekend side hustle to generational wealth builder. Let me give you the quick breakdown. If you want income fast, microgreens, mushrooms, and specialty herbs are your best bet. Grow them indoors, sell to restaurants, start for under $5,000, and you could be profitable within weeks, not months. Weeks. If you want serious long-term wealth with patience, saffron, truffles, ginseng, and sandalwood are the play. They require years of commitment, but the per-pound returns are unlike anything else in agriculture. And if you want the sweet spot between speed and scale, look at lavender, cut flowers, Japanese maples, and succulents. 2 to 4 years to full production, multiple revenue streams from each plant, and profit margins that would make a tech startup jealous. The one to avoid right now is vanilla. Wait for the oversupply to clear.